Okay, right. So we know very well about the anatomies of the plants and the stem. Okay, now, right. So the topic is that when we born. So when we born, what happens? Our size is very small. When we born, our size is a very small. But when age is happening, when aging is done, what happens? Our size is increasing. Okay, na, size will be increased. When we born, what is our size? It may be 30 centimeters like a scale. Okay, na? When we born, how much size is present? 30 centimeter minimum size. Okay, na? We use the scale, na? That much of the size is present in our born time. But when age is happening, we grow in the height, we grow in the width. What is that? Height, width. Likewise, plant also involved in the growth. What is involved in the growth? Plant. So generally we observe that we place the small seed. We place the small seed in the soil. For example, can you think the banyan plant is very large or small? It very large in size. But when you look the seeds of the banyan, very minute, small, just like they are even though smaller than the mustards. You know the mustards? Smaller than the mustards, the seeds of the banyan is present. But that much of smaller seeds, how it is involving in the development of the a large plant? Nothing but the seed is germinate, and the germinated seed is involved in the growth. Okay, na? Actually, the growth is in the plant is two types. Growth in the plant is how many types, ma? Two types. One is the growth in the height. First growth in what, ma? Height. And second growth is called what is, ma? Girth. Also called width. Girth or width are the both same. What is the meaning of height? Height nothing but which grow in the lengthwise. Okay, you take the seed, that seed is grow roots inside and stem grow outside. Okay, na? That means upside height growth is taken by the stem and downside height is taken by the root. Okay, na? Right. The plant grow in height. The plant grow in height, or the plant increase in the length. The length of the plant is increased by a tissue is called, that is, what is the tissue, ma? Apical meristematic tissue. What is the meristematic tissue is responsible for? It is apical meristematic tissue. The apical meristematic tissue is responsible for the growth of the height or length. Okay, na? You observe whatever at the plant outside. Okay, na? In our surroundings or at our home, whatever at the plant you observe, the plant will be grow in the height. A simple example I can tell you. What is that? Some of the flower plant is growing at our home. Okay, first year it is this much of height, and second year it grow this much of height, and next year it is grow more height. Okay, so that height is possible by the which type of the tissue? Apical meristematic tissue. Okay, na? Height is occur outside of the soil, height is occur inside of the soil. Inside of the soil is carried out by the root, and outside of the soil is carried out by the stem. Okay, na? So finally, what is the statement you need to know? That is, the length of the plant is taken by the apical meristematic tissue. Right. Sometimes we may notice the plant grow in the width. What is the meaning of the width? It means it increase in area. It is increase in the area. If you observe a tamarind plant, the tamarind plant is very much size like this. Okay, na? You observe some plants, the tamarind stem is this much of this size. Okay, or the banyan tree is stem is this much of the size. How it is increased? How it is increased? That increment is done through a special type of the nature, that is a special type of the tissue, that is mostly called lateral meristematic tissue. So which tissue is responsible for the growth in the diameter? That is lateral meristematic tissue, which means the girth or width of the plant is increased by the which type of the tissue? Lateral. Here the growth of the height by apical meristematic tissue is called the primary growth. What it is called, ma? Primary growth. Primary growth is helps to the increase in the height, and whereas coming to the width is increased by the which, ma? Secondary. What it is called? Secondary growth. Okay na? So here everyone to understand the point is the plant either stem or root, the plant either stem or root increase in area, increase in the width, that is responsible by the lateral meristematic tissue, and that increment in the size of the width is called, what is, ma? Secondary growth. Okay na? There is a definition is present. What is the meaning of the secondary growth? Or definition is present. Secondary growth. Secondary growth nothing but growth of the plant pods like the root and stem. Growth of the plant pods like the root and the stem. We have the root in the plant, we have the stem in the plant. These plant root and growth increase in the width or increase in the width. So that means the area will be increased, the size will be increased. So such is called, what is, ma? Secondary growth. Tell me, what is the tissue is responsible for the secondary growth? We have the three types of the meristematic tissue: apical, intercalary, and lateral meristematic tissue. Okay, here what is the most one? Lateral meristematic tissue. Okay, this lateral meristematic tissue generally, lateral meristematic tissue generally is produce the two types of the tissues. One is the vesicular cambium. What is, ma? Vesicular cambium, and other one is the carp cambium. What are the tissues are produced by the lateral meristematic tissue? Two types of the tissues, vesicular cambium, and the other one is, what is, ma? Carp cambium. Listen carefully. These two tissues are responsible for the plant to grow in the width. The width of the plant or width of the plant, the surface area increase of the plant about the root and stem done by the which one, ma? Vesicular cambium and the carp cambium. The vesicular cambium, carp cambium both are producing by the which tissue? Lateral meristematic tissue. Yes, meristematic tissue, especially which type of the meristematic tissue? Lateral meristematic tissue. Right? The vesicular cambium show growth in where, ma? Where it is show? Vesicular bundle. Where it is show? Vesicular bundle. And the carp cambium show in where? It show in the cortex. Get it? What is, ma? Inside of the vesicular bundle is taken by the vesicular cambium, and outside of the steel, outside of the vesicular bundle is taken by the carp cambium. Internal and external. Okay na? Internal is taken by the vesicular cambium, externally taken by the carp cambium. Okay. In this session, we are going to discuss what is the carp cambium. Sorry, what is the vesicular cambium involvement? What is the vesicular cambium involvement? How the vesicular cambium involved in the secondary growth? Okay na? Right. I am telling you once again. Secondary growth is our topic. In the secondary growth, stem, secondary growth, and root, secondary growth. So these both are responsible by the production of secondary tissues. What are the secondary tissues? Secondary xylem, secondary phloem. Okay na? How this secondary xylem, secondary phloem is produced? Nothing but in the stem, in the root, secondary xylem, secondary phloem is produced by the lateral meristematic tissue. This lateral meristematic tissue is going to produce two types of the tissues. One is vesicular cambium and other one is what is ma? Cork cambium. So whereas coming to the vesicular cambium is available where? Where the vesicular cambium? Vesicular cambium is available in the vesicular bundles. Where it is available? In the vesicular bundle. We know very well about the structure of the vesicular bundle. In the vesicular bundle, what is present, ma? There is downside xylem is present, upside phloem is present. Between the xylem and phloem, there is a special tissue is found. What is that tissue?
Cambium.
Yes, very good. What is? Cambium. What is, ma? Cambium or cambium. So the cambium is a meristematic tissue. That cambium meristematic tissue is available in the vesicular bundle. That's why it is called the what is, ma? Vesicular cambium. Here you can see. So here it is observing the which is a blue color light. The green colored one is what is, ma? Xylem. The pink colored one is what is, ma? Phloem. And between the xylem and phloem there is a little bit blue color appearance is there. Now what is that? Cambium. That is called intravesicular cambium. What it is called? Intravesicular cambium. Intra, inside, vesicular cambium. And sometimes between the vesicular bundles, what are the present, ma? Between the vesicular bundles, what are present? Some of meristematic tissues are present. That is called intervesicular cambium. Intravesicular cambium and intervesicular cambium. Okay, na? Right, these are the two are the present. How the secondary growth will be happen? How the secondary growth will be happen? The secondary growth will be possible by the step-by-step events. Secondary growth is possible by the step-by-step events. The first one, formation of cambial ring. What is the first step, ma? Formation of cambial ring. Vilasya. Right. The second one is that activation of cambial ring. And the third one is production of wood. Okay, na? So these are the three steps are the present. What are the steps involved in the secondary growth of this stem? In the secondary growth of this stem, these steps are present: formation of the cambial ring and the activation of the cambial ring, production of the woods. Okay, now first I need to tell about what is we going to discuss, ma? Stem secondary growth. Secondary growth in the stem. Ante we observe the plants, na, for example tamarind plant, banyan plant, and mango plant, and guava plant, eucalyptus plant. So many plants we have. In that so many plants, that plants will be grow their stem in the width, na? Stem is growing width, na? For example, a small plant placed at our birth time, placed at our home, our birth time, and when you observe after the 10 years, what happens? The stem also increase in the size at our home, na? So that increment is belonging to the what is the secondary growth. When you look the anatomy of the stem, if you look the anatomy of the stem, there are vesicular bundles are the present. What are the present, ma? Vesicular bundle is present. Every vesicular bundle is present with the downside xylem, upside phloem. And between the xylem and phloem, what is present? Cambium is present. That cambium is responsible for the what is secondary growth. Okay. How many types of the cambiums are present generally? Two types of the cambium. One is inside of the vesicular bundle and other one is between the vesicular bundle. Between the vesicular bundle, inside the vesicular bundle. What is the meaning of inside vesicular bundle? Intravesicular cambium. Intravesicular cambium. Okay, na? And intervesicular cambium. Between and inside. So both vesicular cambiums are come together and they forms a which are added, ma? Intravesicular cambium intervascular cambium. Both are inside ga unna cambium and between cambium, both are added and they forms what is ma a ring like structure. What is that ring is called? What is that ring is called? The ring is which formed by the cambium. That's why it is called what is ma cambial ring. What it is? Cambial ring. Tell me where the cambial ring is present. Below the cambial ring xylem is present. Above the cambium what is? Above the ring is what is? Phloem. Below the ring what is? Xylem. Both are the present. Okay, right. Now the second step is what is ma activation of the cambial ring. Activation of the cambial ring. How the activation will be taken? Generally, the cambium is a meristematic tissue. Cambium is a which tissue? Meristematic tissue. That meristematic tissue involved in the active division. By active division of the cambium, the downside is produced the secondary xylem tissue. Downside is produced which tissue ma? Secondary xylem tissue. And outside is produced which ma? Secondary phloem tissue. Simple. Below the ring what is present? Xylem. That is the primary xylem. Above the xylem what is present? Phloem. That is the primary phloem. When the cambial ring is involved in the activation, by activation of the cambial ring, the primary xylem produces the secondary xylem tissue and its primary phloem produces the secondary phloem tissue. Okay na? So it is happened by which one? Activation of the cambial ring. The cambial ring is formed by union of the intra and intervascular cambium. Okay na? This is totally happening inside of the steel. Okay, right. So now what are the formula? Secondary xylem is produced and secondary phloem is produced. Here listen carefully. Secondary xylem usually produce more in number and the secondary phloem is produced usually less in amount. Secondary xylem produce more amount and secondary phloem produce less amount. Comparing with both, the secondary xylem produce nothing but inside is more active, outside is less active. That's why because of more active inside, the secondary xylem is more produced. Because of less active, the secondary phloem is less produced. Here clearly listen. The production of the secondary phloem, the production of the secondary xylem with the help of the cambium, that is called what is? Secondary growth, and it is responsible for the increasing of the stem. It is responsible for the increasing of the stem. Okay na? For example, a stem is present like this in first year. Next year it is grows this much size. Next year grow this much size, and next year grow this much size. Because what happening here? Secondary phloem and secondary xylem is increasing. That is responsible for the increment of that stem. Okay na? Right. Here, why the secondary xylem, secondary phloem is producing? There is usually what is producing in more? Secondary xylem is producing in the more. And this xylem is responsible for the production of the wood. The xylem is responsible for the production of the wood. Okay na? Is it clear what is the meaning of secondary growth? What is the meaning of secondary growth? Secondary growth nothing but production of the secondary xylem and secondary phloem, and it is helps in the increasing of the stem in the width. Okay na? Right. Now usually what is produced more ma? Secondary xylem. So secondary xylem is responsible for the production of what is ma? Wood. Okay na? Wood is mostly produced by the which one ma? Xylem tissue. Okay na? Right. The wood is generally two types of the woods are produced. How many types of the woods are produced? Two types. Interesting point, interesting information for you. That is, the wood is two types in the plant. That is the spring wood and autumn wood. Spring wood and autumn wood. What is the meaning of spring wood, autumn wood? Nothing but, so in our place, especially in our Indian region and some of the world climatic regions are present with the different seasons. Do you know what are the seasons we have? What are that? Generally summer, winter, monsoon, and likewise spring, autumn, such of the seasons are the present. Okay, in that seasons different situations we can observe in the plant. Okay, right. First I will explain about the spring season. Okay, what is the meaning of the spring season? Nothing but in the spring season the plant is present with the more leaves. Is it right? In the spring season what happens ma? New leaves will be arise. ఆకులు వస్తాయా, ఆకులు రాలిపోతాయా? The leaves will be produced. Okay na? The young leaves will be produced. More leaves are. Along with that one, more flowers also produced. So when spring season is occurred with the more leaves and more flowers, the plant require the more water. The plant require what is ma? More water. And other side, what is the plant require more minerals. Plant require more salts. So the water, mineral, salts all are conducted or transported by the which tissue? Xylem. Okay na? Nothing but the spring season is produced with the more xylem, and the xylem is present with the wide lumen. What it is called ma? Wide lumen. What is the meaning of lumen? Lumen nothing but more hole or more space is present in the xylem to transport the more water, mineral, salts. Okay na? So the xylem which produced in the spring season due to the more leaves and more flowers for the purpose of the more water, more minerals, more salt conduction, and this is called what is? Spring wood. This is called what is ma? Spring wood. The wood which is produced in the spring season is called spring wood, and it is called early wood. It is called what is ma? Early wood. What is the meaning of early? First. What is it? Is first. First వస్తుంది కాబట్టి first wood. Right. After the spring season, next season we can receive, that is the autumn season. Okay na? And what is that ma? Autumn season. What is the meaning of autumn season? Autumn season conditions. The autumn season is occurred with the removal of the leaves. Okay na? ఆకు రాల్చే కాలం అంటాం కదా తెలుగులో అయితే మనం. ఓకే రైట్. సో ద లీవ్స్ విల్ బి fall off. The leaves will be removed. So when the leaves are removed, what happens? There is no need of more water and no need of more minerals, no need of more salt. That's why the xylem produce less in amount. The xylem produce less in amount. That time the xylem vessels are present with the narrow lumen. They are present with the what is ma? Narrow lumen. In the spring season the xylem is a wide lumen, but in the autumn season the xylem vessels are present with a narrow, a slit like a tight lumen is present, because there is no requirement of the more transportation of the water and more minerals out, because there is a less leaves are present in the autumn season. So the xylem which produced in the autumn season is called autumn wood. What it is called ma? Autumn wood. And this autumn wood is produced after the spring wood. Autumn wood is produced after the spring wood. That's why it is called late wood. What is ma? Late wood. Okay na? Early wood, late wood. Got the concept? Okay na? Latter or late wood. Okay. So these are the two types of the woods are generally produced during the different season. Okay na? Right. Other type of the woods are also present. That is hardwood and sapwood. So these are the two types of the woods are present. Hardwood and sapwood. When you observe, here I will demonstrate the points. Here you can see this is the secondary phloem, the red colored phloem one. This is the secondary xylem. The blue colored portion is the secondary xylem which produces the more, and the red colored portion secondary phloem produced less in the amount. Okay, na? Right. You can observe like this kind of the nature after the secondary growth. Okay, secondary xylem, secondary phloem. It will be continue in the next one. Okay. So let me explain the next diagram. Right. So this is you observe. So what you can observe here, there is a springle, early wood. Okay, it is a summer growth. It is late summer, fall of growth. So these are the two types of the condition. In another diagram I will show clearly. Right, this is. So when you look a stem anatomy, so here you observe spring wood. This is what is my spring wood, which is light color or dark color? Light color. Okay, now light wire circle. And autumn wood, dark narrow circle. Dark narrow circle. So reason is there. Reason is there. What is the reason? Why it is wider? Nothing but it is require the more transportation of the water. Why it is narrow? It is not require the transportation of the more water. That's why the difference is observed. Okay, I will tell one more interesting point. You see here. Right. So here another important two terms are we need: hardwood and sapwood. What is my hardwood and sapwood? What is the meaning of hardwood? In the center of the stem, thick color is present. In the side of the stem, light color is present. Got it? When you cut, observe some stem. When you cut, observe some stem, and it is present with the dark color in the center, light color at the side. Okay, the dark colored portion is called what is ma hardwood, and light colored portion is called what is ma sapwood. Is it clear? Right. Sir, what is the reason for the dark color? What is the reason for the light color? So dark color is present with the so many organic compounds. The dark color portion wood is present with the so many organic compounds. So what are the organic compounds are present? Tannins, resins, oils, and some of the what is we call tannins, resins, oils, and some of glands are available in there, and some of aromatic compounds are present. So because of tannins, resins, oils, essential oils, glands like aromatic compounds, this portion totally is present with the organic compounds. That's why it is very dark in color. This dark colored portion is very durable. It is very durable. Nothing but it is very tough and it is very hard. It will be useful for the our home material preparation, home decoration preparing. So what we use to preparation of home, for example, we use to construct the home. At the home, different windows are prepared, doors are prepared, and cupboards are prepared, which are require the many years sustainability. మనం ప్రిపేర్ చేసే డోర్స్ చాలా రోజులు ఉండాలి కదా. So that's why this portion is mostly used. Okay, and the light portion, what is the light portion? The light portion is present with the, it is a xylem. That xylem is present with the wide lumen, and it is helps with the transportation of the water. That's why this portion is a light color. It is non-durable. It is non-durable. ఎక్కువ రోజులు మన్నికగా ఉండదు. So many years అనేటువంటిది వర్క్ చేయదు. Here a last point I need to tell to you. This is that. So the point is that annual rings. What is ma? Annual rings. So you know that. Did you observe any time the cutted stem? Did you observe any time cutted stem? If you go and observe the cutted stem, some circles you can identify. Some circles you can identify. For example, the cutted stem is present like this. In center one circle, next to another circle, next to another circle, next another, like these circles. So here every year two circles are formed. Every year how many circles are formed? Two circles. One circle is formed in the spring season, other circle is formed in the autumn season. One circle is formed in the spring season. Right. So one circle is formed in the spring season, other circle is formed in the autumn. So this portion is called the spring season and this portion is the autumn season. The collectively two circles is called 1 year. Two circles is called what is 1 year. 1 year we can call that is annual. Two circles together we can consider as a ring. That's why it is called what is annual rings. So what is the importance of the annual rings? What is the importance of the annual rings? By counting of the annual rings, we can estimate the age of the plant. Got my point?
Yes.
Got my point? What is the point I told? By counting of annual rings, we can estimate the age of the plant. Okay, na? Right. For example, a stem is here. The first circle, second circle. Like next. Okay. I will show with the other colors. Right. So can you say how many years old this stem?
3 years.
Yes, exact. How many years? 3 years. Okay, na? So first two is considered the 1 year, second two is considered the second year, third two is considered the third year. Okay, na? So what is by counting of annual rings, we can estimate the age of the stem, and this study is called very important point in the NEET and MCET purpose, that is dendrochronology. What is that, ma? Dendrochronology. What is the point? The counting of plant age by using of annual rings. Annual rings helps to counting of what is plant age. Okay, na? That is called what is dendrochronology. So this total process is helps to the growth of the stem in the width. This total process is helps to growth of the stem in the width. అంటే ఇప్పుడు స్టెమ్ ఇట్లా పొడవు వెడల్పుగా ఎట్లా పెరిగింది సార్ ఏంటి అంటే what happened here? Secondary growth. In the secondary growth, what is produced? Secondary xylem and secondary phloem. How the secondary xylem, secondary phloem is produced? Due to the cambial ring. How the cambial ring is produced? Because of intrafascicular cambium and interfascicular cambium. They form a ring. That ring is formed inside the secondary xylem, outside the secondary phloem, and it is helps to the production of the growth. And likewise, continuously hardwood, sapwood. Next, other one is that is spring wood, autumn wood are the produced. This is about the increase of this stem. Okay. In the next class, we going to discuss about the root. Root. Okay, stem is completed. Next class we discuss with the root. Okay, ఇప్పటి వరకు మనం ఎందులో చదివాము? కార్ప్ కేమియం అయిపోయిందా లేకపోతే వాసిక్యులర్ కేమియం అయిపోయిందా? Vascular cambium is nothing but in the vascular bundle is completed. Next we going to discuss about the carp cambium. Okay na? Carp cambium occur where ma? Carp cambium occur where ma? Carp cambium occur in the cortex. Okay na? Right, stand up all of you. Yes.